back to Bear With Me. The Boston Bruins are 0-1-0, and that is good enough for 7th in the Atlantic Division, 15th in the Eastern Conference, and essentially last in the National Hockey League. My name is Joey Copponi. That's Rob Tocci. Rob, how you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. That was not what we wanted.
It's not what we signed up for.
Not great. Not what we expected.
No. And we're obviously referring to the season opener in Sunrise, Florida. Before we even get to that, there's some other things that we got to catch up on. But man, just a little quick preview of that. That felt like a preseason game. That just did not feel like the season opener and all. And I don't know if that's because we were so plugged into the preseason and watching every game that it almost like snuck up on us that, oh my God, the season's here and this is a real game and this is what they look like. But before we get to any of that, we haven't spoken to you guys since Jeremy Swayman signed an extension with the Boston Bruins. The show is brought to you by Prize Picks, the exclusive daily fantasy partner of the CLNS Media Network, and by Game Time Tickets, the best place to buy tickets online to sports concerts, all your favorite events. Use code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Swayman. Rob, the last time we talked, or 2 times ago, it was that there was absolutely no news. And then there was really bad news, and it looked really bad and really ugly. And we were like, there's like a growing chance he does not sign here. But then he signed here. And then it was all over. Now he's here, and all is forgiven, all is forgotten. He's here.
What a roller coaster. My goodness. Yeah, I famously was on here being like, I'm not worried at all. Like, it's fine. Like, we're going to get a deal. It's not a big deal. Whatever. It's fine. But after the 64 million reason comment from Neely, and then more so Louis Gross coming out and being like, what the fuck are you talking about? I've never heard of this number before. How dare you? We will respond to you next week. That was when it was like, oh, all right. This is bad. This is problematic. This might not end up well. The only thing kind of like preventing me from going fully off the rails was people pointing out that like logistically a trade it wasn't really possible. Like, yeah, you would have to find a team that not only had the cap space to accommodate what he would have been asking for, but then also had the resources and the assets to trade for him as well. So they'd be paying for him twice. And then
while the Bruins are still trying to compete in the Atlantic. So that eliminates a quarter of the league.
Yeah, because you're not trading him to somebody in the Atlantic.
No.
And then for Swayman, it would have meant he would have been going to a really shitty team, because those are the types of teams that have the cap space. And like, you would be on a bottom dwelling team. Like, there goes your cup chances, unless like you plan on doing it yourself.
I am stunned because of all of what you just said, and because of, the circumstances that played out in front of us, that not only did he end up still signing here, but he signed for more than that $64 million price tag. That's crazy to me, because I really did believe like, well, this is such an ugly look that like, I don't think another team steps in right now. Like, that would be such a weird move to like step in then. It just, while things are just so tumultuous. And then I was like, okay, well, if he is staying here, then 64, that's a cap. That's the ceiling, and I don't think it gets touched either. Not the case. That was stunning to me. Do you want to speculate on what the fuck happened there with the 64 million thing? Because that has just gone away. I haven't seen anybody, really try to think of like, okay, well, how did this happen? Because Cam Neely did say the 64 million reasons. Louis Gross did say that's not fucking true. And then they reached a deal. There was like no time for people to figure out like, well, what happened in the middle there? Who lied or deceived? Because like the options are Cam Neely lied. That one seems unlikely for a bunch of reasons. One of them being the Bruins did give him more than $64 million. So him lying, I would say probably the least likely. Then there is the option where Louis Gross lied, which is fucking crazy. I don't know how realistic that one is. From what we hear of Louis Gross, it sounds like it's on the table. And option 3, they said that and then offered 64 right after the presser. And that's why the wording in Louis Gross's thing being like, we didn't hear that until the presser. But that's wicked shady. And that wouldn't really lead to a deal getting done or the Bruins upping their price. It's just, I don't know what took place in the middle there.
Yeah, I mean, so based on some of the reports, the number was like 7.8 a year for 8 years before the presser. So Neely could have been like, hey, we'll move up to 64. Like Swayman's ask had been like 9, if not higher. And the Bruins offer originally was like in the 6s, and then they like crept up closer to 8 and eventually hit 8. And Swayman obviously eventually had to come down from 9 million. So I think, well, first of all, Neely's comments, I think I remember seeing people being like, thinking that he just went rogue in saying that, as if that wouldn't have been incredibly deliberate from the entire front office. Like, hey, one of the biggest things we need to do is establish that we're willing to pay him a very reasonable amount. And at the very least, it got the deal done. Like it moved negotiations all the way to the end. Also have to include the fact that that 5 p.m. cutoff on Monday, anytime after that, Swayman's salary starts affecting the cap even more so, and he gets paid even less. So huge incentives for both sides to get a deal done before that. On Friday, I was like, it's done this weekend. And then it was done the next morning, or Saturday, rather. So very grateful that happened. And but again, like just such a whiplash from going like, we're fine to like 64 million reasons. I've never heard of that offer before. 64 or 66 million. We're done. And I'm not so shocked that they moved just above the 8. It's not like honestly, to me, like that's nickel and diming pocket change, whatever. Give them the extra 250K a year. It's fine. I don't know if that I'm surprised by it. I kind of thought that 64 had been like, that's a very reasonable cap to put on it. But, and if I even tweeted saying, if you need to go up a little more to resolve this and go back to having one of the best goalies in your net for the next 8 years, then just do it. Yeah. Because his percentage cap is still not that crazy. And I guarantee over the next like 1 to 8 years, when the cap continues to increase, there will be conversations of, after all that, it's pretty crazy that we got Swayman for only 8.25. So I think it's a very reasonable amount. I'm glad he got his bag. I'm glad it didn't, bankrupt the Bruins. I'm glad it's over. And I'm very much looking forward to seeing him in net on Thursday against Montreal.
I just can't believe it worked.
The 64 million comment? Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy. It sets a wild precedent that like teams can just get up in front of the media and be like, you want to know how much we're offering them? This greedy asshole. You want to know? Huh? Because it worked. I thought there's no fucking chance it works. This is shady, or not shady, just ugly. And it fucking worked.
And it kind of not immediately, but now with the report that Igor Shesterkin is rejected an 8-year, $11 million a year contract. It's like, you know what? Maybe the Swayman thing wasn't so bad. Like Igor's Igor, like way more established than Swayman is, but and arguably a better goaltender as well. But it's when I saw that, I was like, man, it could have been worse. Like, rejecting an $88 million contract to be the highest paid goalie in the history of the National Hockey League.
I never thought I'd say this. Thank you, New York, for taking the spotlight off Boston.
Thank you, New York.
Thank you, New York.
Thank you. I never want to say it again.
No, one time was certainly enough.
Plenty.
Before we get into the game, because we do have a lot of thoughts on this interesting game, let's take a second and talk to our good friends over at Prize Picks.
You can now win up to 100 times your money on Prize Picks with as little as 4 correct picks. Hey, sign up today. Get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Cook up hot takes with your friends and win real money this football season when you and your crew run your game on Prize Picks. This week on the Prize Picks football board, Justin Jefferson, for more than 83.5 receiving yards, and Patrick Mahomes for less than 267.5 passing yards. Download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Again, download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. Run your game.
Hey, Rob.
Yep.
Corpusalo, huh?
All right. I gotta say something.
All right, hand up. What's up?
He was not that bad.
Yeah, he was.
All right. Well, Montgomery disagrees. Most of the talking heads disagree.
Well, what is Montgomery going to say? He's not going to get up there and be like, "Holy shit, did he
Did you
suck,
see
huh?"
what he said?
I did, but here, let me pull it back up.
I got it right here.
Okay.
Corpusalo was not a problem tonight. It was the people in front of him. You can't give up 4 backdoor tap-ins and expect your goalie to make save after save. He made a lot of saves on breakaways. There was like at least one goal where I'm like, that's completely on Corpusalo. That being the Rodriguez goal, the one that it was just a wrister from like the very high slot, and it was a nice shot, but Corpusalo just didn't play it well. That was the one right before he got run by Bennett, because of course he did. No, I mean, rebound control is not great, so that's
horrible.
That's a conversation to have, but I mean, he did make Verhaeghe could have had a hat trick in the first 15 minutes, but he kept denying him. Like, Corpusalo did have very good saves this game. Not a great start, obviously not what you want. But I'm not in the camp of like this loss is only on Corpusalo or even solely on Corpusalo. Largely, I mean to say. I mean, 6 goals to 6 goals. Like at the end of the day, like that's tough. But the defense, I was way more concerned with how bad the defense looked that game than I was with how bad the goaltending looked. Lohrei, that was an atrocious game from Lohrei.
I mean, listen, it's one of those factors is way more important just because one of them is your starting players. One of them is not, like I understand that. And like, it's more important in the long run that people like Lohrei, Carlo look better than they did in the opening game. Like, you don't need Corpusalo to, look like a starting goaltender because he's not going to be. But you hoped that, like, amidst this Swayman getting back in the groove period of time, that he can, like, keep you in games. And I'm trying to find the advanced stats here on his rebound control. It's really...
I don't even know what stat that would be.
Yeah, well, there's all sorts of advanced metrics on like rebound control, but there was the eye test really bad, really
Corpusalo?
bad. Yes, and like I understand quality chances, backdoor tap-ins, whatever, but these weren't like 2-on-1s where you go like, yeah, that happens, whatever. So many instances where a puck hit him in the chest and he didn't know where it went. So many instances where. Like, I've never really seen an NHL goalie just not know where their own rebound went.
Yeah, tracking.
Like, let alone control it. Yeah, it's not even control. It's just rebound tracking and setting. And, like, that's... it's hard to put the loss totally on him by any means, especially because, I mean, look, it's Florida. It's Florida. You didn't come into Sunrise. Yeah, you didn't come in being like, chalk it up as a win before you get there. It's fucking Florida.
Boston's
but my God,
kryptonite,
I was expecting
the reigning
more.
Stanley Cup champion as they're coming off the high of raising their banner. The last time we played a banner raising team, we lost 7-0 in 2018 against Washington.
So what I can tell you is off of this one game, the expected goals against was 3.1.
And he allowed 6.
He allowed 6. And the expected goals against, for those who don't know, they calculate that based on the quality of chances, shot locations, shooting percentages from those areas, whatever. It doesn't really matter. We don't need to sit here and pick apart the backup goaltender, but that was just, it was for me, the biggest thing that like I couldn't ignore. And I was telling myself as I'm watching and listening, I listened to it on the radio a little bit. Like I was telling myself like, this doesn't matter. Like, let's focus on everyone else here. And I just couldn't. It was the prevailing takeaway for me. But again, more important things to focus on. The defense.
Bad.
We brought up Mason Lohrei.
He was -4 at one point. He ended the night -3.
Mm-hmm.
He looked very timid when he had the puck. He wasn't like his clearly a former forward self in the offensive zone. Just soft on the puck. Got run over a few times when he was carrying the puck. And it's game one, and it's like we know this with Lohrei. It's not like, 6 years from now, assuming that like he starts to reach his ceiling a bit more, and we're like, wow, like it's like if McAvoy came out and just like had a -5 on the first night. Like there's still a lot of growing pains left for Lohrei to go through, and yes, they played 7 preseason games. I don't know how much of them Lohrei played, but like the preseason, it's like you would think that it's like that's when you get all like the rust off. It's like no, because like they know it doesn't like really matter. So like until it does, like I think that's a whole another layer of rust you need to get off. So it's game one. I'm not freaking out about it. They ended at 6-4. Like they made.
That so doesn't matter to me at all. That's so
I
know you were
liked it.
saying. I know you were saying like, that makes you feel better. Why? It doesn't matter.
I just pad statin, I guess. Like I'm glad Freddie got on the board. It's good to see Pasta got one. I don't know. They got worked. Like no matter what you look at it, like they just so handedly lost that game. Like, and it is kind of vintage Boston to like, what if we tried in the last 3 minutes? And it's like you're allowed to do that in the first 57. By the way,
yeah.
So not great, but it's crazy this game even really happened. Ultimately, it was clearly fine, but I don't know if you heard. Bit of a storm coming through Florida, so
yeah, kind of insane. Yeah, you texted me. I think yesterday, be like, you ever think about how the Bruins are just in Florida right now? Without
like the entire Bruins team in the path of a Category 5 hurricane, a hurricane reaching this like the physical limit that a hurricane can reach, and they're like, no, we're good. We got a game.
Is on the way, and they're like, we'll leave in the morning.
Like we have our own plane.
We'll be fine.
Okay.
I think they're out of Florida now. I fucking hope.
Yeah, they're gone.
Yeah.
They were probably gone last night.
Yeah. They're not sticking around.
They got on the plane in their gear.
They did cancel the Tampa game, though.
They did.
Right?
They did. Yes. Tampa was like, it's way more in the path because the hurricane's hitting the west side of Florida, and that's exactly where Tampa is.
Yeah.
Whereas Sunrise is on the east side.
Mm-hmm.
I know so much about the geography of Florida now. You can ask
people.
me.
People call Miami the east side of Florida.
That's what it is. The east side.
East side, Miami, stand up.
Well, I keep like I know that Miami or Sunrise and Tampa are near each other because like we've looked at like doing those 2 games before, and it's like 4.5 hours away. Like that's crazy. It was like when I plugged in the distance on Google Maps is like, yeah, don't drive to Tampa right now. Like they're like, there's so many reasons not to be in Tampa. Right
did it actually stop you? Was it like, hey, seriously, don't go that way?
It was like, hey, major flood warnings, which I'm like, that's an interesting creative way of telling me that there's going to be 15 feet of water.
Yeah.
I guess it is major.
Have you seen Lieutenant Dan on the internet? Have you seen him?
Oh, I was literally just watching that video. He's like, yeah, it doesn't matter to me. Boat's not going anywhere.
Yeah, water goes up, boat goes up. I'm in the boat.
A rising tide will not sink me because I'm on a boat.
All the TikTok comments are like, all jokes aside, rest in peace, Lieutenant Dan.
Oh, no.
Yeah, like, I don't know. The people, listen, if you guys are listening to this in the greater Tampa area, I don't know why you're listening.
Don't be there.
Thanks, I guess. Don't be there. Don't be there. The weathermen are crying on TV about what's going to happen to you guys. Get out of there.
Not to get
I
too
don't know who
political
I'm
here,
talking to.
but it is crazy that so many people were like, I have no money. I can't go anywhere. Like, I can't drive anywhere. I have no money to go anywhere. Where am I going to go? And it's you're like, yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. I guess.
Just
I guess
go down
that
with
is
the
true.
ship, I guess. Power to
Yeah,
you.
because if somebody just told me like just leave my home, I'd be like, yeah, I would be like, where do I go? I
Right,
don't
or
have
what
family in Pennsylvania. Like I can't get away from the East Coast.
I don't have a helicopter. I don't.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
yet.
Well, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, what are you gonna do? Just going back to the game, like the. All right, I hate Florida so much, man. I really do. Who made us play Florida game 1? You're a hoe. Fuck you. You kidding me? Game 1? I can't have anything. I can't have anything.
I might have tuned in late. Did they do the banner raising ceremony? Because I saw it up. They did.
They did.
Okay, because I saw it up, but I must have missed the ceremony then. Yeah. And then my dad was like, they canceled it. I was like, what do you mean?
They canceled something with the rings, I think. I saw something about they were supposed to do something with the rings, but that was canceled. But they absolutely raised the banner. The Bruins did not go out for it. They stayed in the locker room because obviously.
Sure.
Pretty funny. AJ Greer and Jesper Boquist just like standing there watching the banner go up, being like, glad we could help. Also, real quick, Greer on Florida was weird, but yeah, that makes sense.
It felt weird until he dropped the gloves. And then I was like, oh, right. Yeah, that's who you are.
He,
first of all, also
handled Kastelik too. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I did. I was just going to say props to Kastelik, just getting in there.
Yeah. Oh, that's all you're going to get from him. Or not all, but that is what you will get from Mark Kastelik this year. Is exactly. Yeah. He's going to be your like first guy in. But he's just the new Derek Forbert. Derek Forbert was weirdly our enforcer last year. I don't know if you remember that, but he already did it in Vancouver. He's already doing it. He jumped in. It was like game 1, or actually it might have been a preseason game. But yeah, people are saying it on the streets. Mark Kastelik is the new Derek Forbert.
Yeah,
people are saying it. But he got Greer yanked him, and like he looked like his whole body left the ice, like he was airborne. And Kastelik's tough too, but obviously we know Greer is too.
Mm-hmm.
But no, definitely raised the banner. That definitely happened.
Speaking of fights,
yes,
would be remiss if we did not talk about Trent Frederick and his childhood friend Matthew Tkachuk. Trouble in paradise, brother? Perhaps. We know that they're buds, but what? Yep, Rob?
Was listening to Morning Brew.
And
Billy had an interesting comment where he said that he had been talking to Freddie and was talking about Tkachuk, and it was like, yeah, you'll see your buddy. And Frederick was like, I'm not buddies with that guy.
And this was before the game?
Yeah.
Wow.
And that, like, you know, you could say it's like the competitive, like there's no friends out on the ice, but like at least with like the secondhand demeanor that Billy was saying it, like it sounded like, no, I'm not friends with him.
I mean, of all the insults to throw at like a buddy, not like an insult, I don't know, but all the trash talking to do to a buddy.
Saying I'm not friends with you.
Well, no, I was going to say what Freddie said after the game, where he said, asking me to drop the gloves and then not doing it, disrespectful to the game. I think that's a pretty deep shot for, pro to pro to accuse somebody of disrespect for the game. That's kind of serious. No,
a lot of the responses to that have been either it's Tkachuk, what do you expect?
Sure.
And also, that is a very common tactic in the NHL, is to bait somebody into dropping their gloves while not dropping your own.
Maybe Freddie just wanted to say some shit about Tkachuk. Have we thought about that?
I figured he did.
He just wanted to be like, yeah, he did this. Fuck him.
That's some shit behavior, though. That is like, from a dude that like Tkachuk, like they're like, I'm a power forward. I don't know why I said it like that. He is a power forward.
I'm a power forward.
My name's Matt. But for a guy like that to like pull shit like that, it's like, I know he's fucking scum out on the ice, but I hate that shit. I hate that shit so much. Like, if you're such a fake tough guy too, like
that's
he
what
will
he's always
not
been.
Engage until the ref is involved, and then he's like the most involved.
Well, he'll fight David Pasternak.
He sure will. He almost did again.
Yeah, I hate that chicken shit stuff. But that's like what fuels me during the playoffs. Like, I'm glad Matthew Tkachuk exists. Like, I like that I have a villain, an enemy, like a villain output to put my hate energy into. But like, save it. It's
game
I
one.
like it. Yeah. Tantalize me a little bit, but like now I want to play you again. Now I'm like, oh, when's game 2? There is no game 2. It's not we're not in the playoffs. There is a game 2. You know what I mean? It's not a 7-game series against Florida.
There was one point in the game, and I think I have a clip of it somewhere, where it was like in front of the net or behind the net, and it was like a post whistle scrum, and Tkachuk is involved, obviously. It was when Frederick was going after him. And it was like one of those, like, the refs have been involved at this point, and Frederick was still tearing through people, trying to grab and get at Tkachuk. Like, clearly still, like, I'm not letting this die down naturally. Like, I'm still going after you. And Tkachuk did this, like, he, like, looked at the camera and did the, like, get a load of this guy, like, fake laugh and, like, shaking his head. And I wanted to choke the life out of him. He rises in anger out of me that I didn't know existed. I cannot stand him. Which, credit to the NHL Faceoff show for making me like him during the show, because him and Brady and Keith, that's a funny trio. That's good stuff.
Yeah, we'll talk. Yeah, we'll get into that.
We'll talk about it. But right now, I hate him. Oh my!
Speaking
just
of
the look on his face, I went into a blind rage. Yes.
Speaking of post whistle scrums, Max Jones.
What happened with Max Jones? Hit me?
He hit a referee.
Oh, yeah. Well, what are you going to do?
He's likely facing a suspension.
Should have been standing there. No, he's not. He's absolutely not getting suspended for that.
A suspension appears likely after Max Jones slashes referee. That's from Maple Leafs Daily.
Oh, there, yeah. Yard barker. No, he got all right. If he got a 2-minute unsportsmanlike, that is because they have to call something. Clearly, it was accidental. Immediately goes around like, shit, like, sorry. Like, the ref, like, or the linesman, like, ran in to, like, get in between them. Roles reversed. I really hope I would have, like, the mental wherewithal to be like, no, like, the Panther clearly did not mean to do that. Like, it's not like when Dennis Weidman, like, bodied that ref into the boards, although I still think he was concussed when that happened. No, Max Jones is definitely not getting suspended for that, or he should not be. I really do not think you get a 2-minute minor for slashing a linesman and then they turn around and suspend you for it. If they're going to suspend him, that would have been a major and he would have been kicked out.
It is funny how fast that diffused the situation, though. All the jarring and jabbing and this and that, and then, oh shit, I'm sorry. It's like when you get to fuck.
Yeah, you get like too rough with like your sibling or something, and like somebody like you think you actually hurt them. You're like, oh no, like it just shatters.
You're okay. Shh.
You hit him with the eye of the teddy bear. You're like, oh shit, oh I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to do that.
Yeah, the zipper of the pillow.
Yeah, No, it's whatever. And people were like, is Jones our new scapegoat? Because so many people in our replies being like, why is Max Jones on this team? I'm like, I don't know. Like, it's not that bad. Like,
I don't know. Who cares?
They didn't ask me. It feels weird that we have Kaslik and Jones.
Yeah.
Also, I gotta talk about this at some point. I feel insane because I have no clue why Riley Tufte is on this roster. I know he's like going to be scratched a lot. He did not have a good preseason. Am I wrong? Like, nobody's talking about it. Like, nobody was like, pretty good preseason, good showing. But at the same time, no one's really talking negatively about it. But like, my eye test was like, I didn't like his play at all. He was fighting the puck the whole time. Like, he's got a good reach and he knows how to use it. But like, out of all the guys on that training camp roster, like, I am shocked he made the opening night roster or the final roster. I just wanted to throw that in there. I just feel very confused as to why Riley Tufte is on this roster.
It's the left-handed shot. Maybe that probably helped his case.
He's so fucking tall.
He's a big boy. I don't know. They just want to be fucking huge. That's all the Bruins care about right now. They want to be big.
Yeah.
Do you want to? Is that all you got on the game?
Nah, I got a few other little things. Like,
sure, hit me.
I really like Frederick's game, and I really think this is going to be a career year for Trent Frederick. I think you're going to get a lot out of him this year. Big time. I think if he and Braz can continue playing together, and they keep up their chemistry, I think they're a very dangerous pairing. Braz almost had a goal. He did like the wraparound, but Rodriguez's stick got in the way and saved the goal. Elias Lindholm, okay. Start has his first point, had an assist on, I believe it was on Zaka's goal, which was vintage Zaka. What a shot. Dude's got a fucking missile for a wrist shot. And Braz had the assist on Frederick's goal. Again, garbage time. Still happy for Frederick. It's good to see. Pasternak, kind of a quiet night, pretty quiet night from David Pasternak. 5 shots. That's typical. At one point, he was like on the boards at the blue line, the offensive blue line, and did like a spinorama pass cross ice to the other side of the net to Morgan Geekie. He was only a few feet in front of it, and Geekie ripped it and hit the post. But it was like one of those passes from Pasternak where he will attempt that 50 times, and that one time it threaded through everybody right to Geekie. But man, does it look good when it works. And fuck Sam Bennett too, also, not just Mac Kachuk. Oh my god. Somebody who was it? Somebody hit Marchand in the side of the head again.
Yeah, yep. Sure did.
Stop doing that. Please.
Is it Verhaeghe?
It might have been Verhaeghe. I have a clip of it somewhere.
Might have been. Yeah.
It was Anton Lundell. It was Lundell.
That was Lundell.
And like he's like clearly trying to hit him with his stick. Like it looks like he's trying to do that like swim over him move, but like he's it's to me on the replay, there's not a genuine effort to get that stick over Marchand's head. He's trying to hit Marchand with that stick.
Repeat offender kind of deal, just in terms of the laundry. Yeah.
But no, Sam Bennett, fuck Sam Bennett.
Yep.
Almost, if he had a hat trick, I was gonna be very upset. Ran into Korpisalo, which I don't like. People were like, "Oh, Carlos pushed him. He ran out of real estate." I'm like, he's just skating straight at Korpisalo, not looking at him. Like that's of course he's gonna hit him. Really thought we were gonna see Swayman after that. Well, I really thought we were gonna see Swayman in the second period when you gave up 4 goals in the first period. Joe, you have a question?
I have a question. The fans were chanting, "We want Swayman." Was that Panthers fans? Was that Bruins fans?
It could go either way, right?
I think we it seemed like we were in agreement.
Yeah,
if anything, in that moment, because I thought it was Bruins fans when I heard it, and then people were like, "Oh wow, like they're really getting confident here." It's like, oh, are they saying like, "Oh, we want to beat Swayman too"?
Yeah,
because I thought it was Bruins fans being like, "Put in fucking Swayman, please."
I definitely, in the moment, was like, that is Panthers fans just, giving it to Korpisalo, being like, "You suck. Give us your other goaltender so we can beat him too." But it also works with the Bruins angle, where like, if that game is at TD Garden in the exact same circumstances, you probably hear a "We want Swayman" chant starting.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Probably much louder.
Yeah.
So
if anything, I'm at that game and Panthers fans are chanting, I join in. I want Swayman too.
We're all in agreement. We're all in agreement.
Swayman. We got some other headline. Unless you still got game stuff. You done on game stuff? You got other game stuff?
Like during the game or about the game in general?
About the game.
Yeah. Well, Montgomery's interview after the game. One of the first questions or one of the first comments from a reporter was, "The juice didn't seem to be there." I can't do another year of the juice talk. I can't do it.
I think,
dude, when we're in the press box, I'm going up to people and being like, "Are you sponsored by Welch's? Like, what is going on?" Like, It's like how
Where's
there's
the
commercials
juice?
just for chocolate milk. It's just
Mhm.
chocolate milk, not a specific dairy company. Is it the same thing? Are you sponsored by the concept of juice?
Monty has latched onto the juice. There's no doubt about that. He is firmly in the juice camp.
Well, he didn't even say it. Somebody asked him about it.
Well,
But still, there's so much
they brought
juice
it
there.
up though. They were like, "Hey, Monty, so about the juice.
Question
We
about
know
the
you
juice.
want to talk about the juice, so how about we ask you about the juice?
Yeah, I it's my number one question when I get in there.
What's up with the juice?
What's going on with that juice? Also, the defense that game had 11 giveaways combined.
Mhm.
Every one of the D-men had at least one giveaway. So that's fun. That's a good time. Carlo and Lindholm had 3. Zadorov had 6 hits, as did Mark Kastlik. Zadorov was fine. Not like, damn, wow, he's here.
Would have
he
been
had a-
crazy to have a game like that. First game here.
I think at the Garden he'll be a bit more inclined to like blow somebody up.
Mm-hmm.
Really hoping so.
Yeah, sure.
Peak looked good, I think. Also, Peak continues to be like one of those. Wow, you're much better than we thought you were going to be.
Yeah.
And
You have to remember his expectations, I think, to appreciate Andrew Peak.
Did you see the guy in our replies talking about McAvoy?
No.
He was like, I hate this motherfucker. He's fucking sucks. Like,
What?
people think he's Bobby Orr. Like, I was like, I wanted to be like, okay, dude, but like, I didn't even want to engage with him. And then he kept replying to himself, being like, fuck McAvoy.
What?
I don't know. It's
Of all the D-men to take your frustration out
Yeah.
on right now.
like cool. Just
Charlie
you know,
McAvoy's not
one
it.
of the best D-men in the league. It's fine.
Yeah.
I think-
There's certainly a time to get frustrated with Charlie McAvoy.
Oh, there's
I'm
many
not saying
times.
It's not right now.
No. Also, they were outshot 14-1 in the first period. So yeah, you might go down 4-1 if that happens.
Yeah.
They went 1-for-1. That's something.
It's definitely something.
It's not enough.
All right. We've got some other headlines to get to, some other stuff around the league, some other stuff to talk about. But first, if you want to get your ass to TD Garden, you want to see the Bruins open their
Tomorrow.
season in Boston against the Montreal Canadiens. Use Game Time, would you? Game Time is the best place to buy tickets online to sports, concerts, all your favorite events. If you listen to the show, you know a couple years ago I went to the Superdome for the first time. This was my first NFL game, and let me tell you, I got the bug. I'm going to be going to NFL games as much as I can this year, and I'm going to be using the Game Time app. Game Time has a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only the incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. And they've got this new super deal that lets you know just how good these tickets are. You'll see that they got good deals, they got okay deals. The new super tier is the best of the best. So keep your eyes peeled for that. And if you have heard me talk about Game Time before, which I'm sure you have, you know that I love you get to see your seat in the app before you buy. You get a panoramic view. There's no question, am I going to be able to see this? Am I going to see that? Which end am I going to be closer? And you can put on a VR headset and feel like you're already there. Use the Game Time app. It's the best way to get into the building. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CLNS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. We got a new segment, I think. Maybe.
We're going to try it.
Actually, you know what? Before we get to the new segment, we should do some season predictions because we were going to do that before the season started.
Yes, we were.
Now we have a leg up. We know that they lose at least one game in regulation, so that is cheating a little bit.
I'm changing my prediction to 81-1. That's the only difference here.
I have a record prediction.
Hit me.
And I want to give it to you.
Hit me.
49.
Okay.
22-11.
49-22-11. Okay.
It's 109 points, first in the Atlantic.
Okay. That's more optimistic than mine.
Okay.
Not by much. Not by much. I'm thinking like low 40s for the wins. I have them. I don't know that they break 100 points this season. I think they're either breaking it or right at it. I have them at 44, 25, and 5. I'm of the mindset this year that like I more so than ever I really don't care about the positioning. I just get in the playoffs because like I feel that they are physically built for the playoffs more so than anything. So as long as you're in, I'm cool. I just think it's gonna be. I think there's gonna be some growing pains. I think it's gonna take a bit of time to get Lindholm acclimated. I think it's gonna take a little bit of time to get Zadorov into the Montgomery system. So easy to say this after last night, but I think Korpisalo will not be fantastic this year. I think he'll be a serviceable backup, but I think losing out on having two starting goaltenders is gonna have more an effect on the record than we're expecting. So we're not too far off.
Looks like that, sure.
Yeah, so we're not too far off.
Next thing I have.
Wait, my record didn't make sense.
You
Go
short?
on. Yeah, I'm short. Hold on.
Adjust it, because we're going to come back to these.
Yeah, hold on. I'm not even close. What the fuck? Yeah, we'll come back.
Just do some math. Add them up.
Add them up. All right. Well, 44, 69, 13.
Jesus H.
44, 25, 13. I was off by 8 games. Okay.
8 games?
Yeah, I wasn't even close. I was a math minor.
45 and 13 is 103 points. So you do have them cracking 100 points.
Okay. Well, I said around.
Which is it?
I don't know.
Which is it?
I don't know. They'll be all right.
David Pastrnak, how many goals? I have him at 51.
See, this one's really hard for me because I think it's really dependent on how Elias Lindholm does.
That's why I have him so high.
Yeah. What's yours again?
51.
You know what? I like that.
Yeah.
I think conservatively 40, conservatively, but I could see him breaking 50. I don't know. I don't think he hit 60.
Give a number. You can't give a 20 goal window.
Somewhere between 0 and 100.
Yeah, give a number.
47.
Dude.
47 goals.
47.
60 assists.
Because we have $10,000 on the line between you and I.
We do.
Who gets these right? Yes.
47 goals, 60 assists, 107 points.
Jeremy Swayman's season goals against average. I want you to go first.
199.
Holy shit.
Is that what yours is?
No.
What's yours?
That's crazy. 199? I have him at 265.
I'm optimistic. I think he's going to put on it. I think he's having a Vezina campaign. I don't know that he wins it, but I think
with a 199 he doesn't win it?
Man, there's a lot of really good goaltenders in the league right now. Am I doing that thing where I completely forget what stats look like league wide?
Yeah.
Yeah,
you
Rob.
are.
What was 203 was the best. Okay, I'm being too optimistic here.
Yeah.
210.
210.
Yeah, 210. 913 save percentage.
I mean, the real highest was, I guess, 233.
I will just blanket, not to get bogged down in numbers. I think he's going to put up a Vezina campaign. I think he will consistently be a top 5 goalie this year, and I think he will spend most of the year as like top 2, if not the best. I think he's going to have a crazy good year.
22-23, Linus Ullmark. 189.
See, 199 is not insane.
I mean, that year
Ullmark's numbers were bananas. A 938. What the fuck?
I know.
That's
Swayman had a
crazy.
227 that year. We had the number 1 and number 4 goaltenders.
Lindholm,
man, I can't believe we won it all that year. That was such a sweet.
I can't believe we won the first round of the playoffs that year.
That was such a sweet first round win.
Can't believe we didn't give up a 3-1 series lead that year.
Man, I love living in reality. The other thing, last season prediction, Marchand's point total.
I'm little bear-ish on this one. I don't think he's going to have a very good year. We'll have a good year, but not a Brad Marchand year. I think it's going to be a little tough. I think this is going to be the year where like, ooh, Brad's getting up there. Well, you go first because I don't want to say a wrong number again.
I have him upticking a bit to 82.
That's optimistic.
It is optimistic.
I think he's like 65 points, 66.
That's pretty much where he was last year. Last year he had 67.
I just, but his age, the surgeries, honestly, so much of their success this year, I think is going to hinge on the power play too. Not like all of it, obviously, but if they go another season without having a consistent power play, doesn't have to be like top 5, but like without having a piss poor power play, it's going to be bad. Like their zone entries on the power play are still awful. Like they just cannot get set up. And to watch a team like Florida immediately get the zone and immediately set up and just so easily pass it around. I'm like, why can't we do that? That would be great. I think he's going to be like 24, 40, 64.
As of right now, by the way, this is just worth mentioning because it's just, chalk. As of recording, the NHL point leader is take a wild guess.
It's definitely gonna be a Devils player. Oh no, isn't it? Is it Sam Bennett?
It is, just like everybody guessed, it is Paul Cotter.
A man I know well.
Everyone's favorite New Jersey Devil.
To be fair, he is tied.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
No, he's not.
I'm sorry. I'm looking at goals, not points. You're wrong. No, you're right.
3 points, Paul Cotter. Look out. On pace for 124 points. 123.
What a campaign.
It's going to be a hell of a year. My microphone smells. All right, that's what we got for season predictions. Now to the new segment, clearing the bench clearing. Is that crazy?
I don't know.
Something like that. I don't know. That's what we're going to call it. Something like that. Just some other headlines from across the league. We do this anyway. We're just trying to name it. I don't know. We don't have to name it. It was a stupid idea. I shouldn't have said anything.
Yeah, Joe.
Utah.
Shut the fuck up, Joe. All right.
Yeah, I'll shut up. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to have a little bit of fun on this show. That's my bad.
That's not what we do here.
Sorry. Utah played their first home game, and that's interesting.
Yeah.
The fans looked confused at what was going on the ice. The team did not look confused. The team looked pretty good. They did play Chicago, so take it for what it is. But the team looked pretty good. The uniforms on the ice looked pretty good.
Very Winnipeg.
Yeah.
So
it just they look like
that I'm like, is this Winnipeg?
Yeah, they got to change. I mean, listen, they need an identity. They literally do not have an identity. And the thing is, it's like Utah already is a step back in terms of having an identity because their identity is Wonder Bread. Like it doesn't have one. It's, it has the flavor complexity of salt. It's nothing. So it's already your team just being the Utah team is fucking crazy. You got to come up with a name. You got to do something. Have you seen the mascot?
Yeah, I said he is Benny the Bull's felon cousin.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what he is. He is horrifying. I don't know what he is.
Bear.
You know how hard? Okay, fuck off with that. Are you kidding me? Like, Jesus Christ. First, Pittsburgh takes the colors. Then you take our Bears. Yeah, that's... I mean, you know how difficult it is to upstage Gritty as the most horrifying NHL mascot? At least, like, Gritty has like a cartoony aspect to him where he's like, you feel like it's intentional.
Mm-hmm.
And then you look at Utah's mascot and you're like, I want to call the police right now. I don't feel safe.
Yeah, that thing that doesn't belong anywhere.
No.
That thing does not belong. I want to kill it. And we probably should, just for everyone's safety.
Just to be safe.
Probably take it
Just
out.
be on the safe side.
To be on the safe side, let's kill it.
It's like that fake Disney Twitter account. It's like Goofy is dead.
Yeah.
It's like we
Bear has been killed.
Bear mascot has been euthanized.
I think his name is Bear.
I hate that. Hold on, Utah hockey.
He wears a headband that says Bear.
No, his name is Jazz Bear.
No. Wait, is he like the Jazz mascot? Is he the Utah Jazz mascot?
Yes, I believe that is. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Oh, awful. They didn't even get their own. Dude, they don't even have their own fucking mascot.
Yeah, it's a mascot.
They're borrowing an NBA mascot?
Less upset about the Bear thing now.
My good God.
Oh, my Lord.
Rob, I am going to text you a photograph right now. I need you to look at. Stop looking at your computer.
All right.
Look at what I'm about to text you.
I'm ready.
Holy shit.
Standing by.
We'll tweet this photo out on the Bear With Me Twitter.
Oh, no.
Look at his eyes.
No, you can't. I can't see the human eyes of the person in the suit. That is awful. This is what Five Nights at Freddy's wishes it was. Oh my! This looks like a poorly taxidermied otter slapped onto a prisoner. Oh my God!
It looks horrifying. like the climax of the horror movie where the guy reveals that he's like made a suit out of bear skin.
Yes. Yeah. No, that's awful. I hate that so much.
Can you tweet that from the Bear With Me account? Please, just context.
Right now? No.
Yeah, just right now. And then when people listen to the show, they'll get some context as to why that is. Oh my God, that's horrible.
I will tweet. This will make sense later.
I do want to say about Utah that their end seats, a lot of talk about their balcony, the end sections, about how they the further up you go, you don't have visibility of the net closer to you, and their discounted tickets and whatever. And they're talking about fixing it. Before they fix it, the front row of the balcony at the ends of the ice, the best seat in the NHL.
Yeah.
Have you seen that view?
It's like close.
It's like a youth rink. You're like just above the ice. Like you're like almost at the glass looking straight down. It's really, really, really cool. That's all I had to say. It's cool.
Yeah, I did see that. I think it was like Key Daddy tweeted it out. It was like, this is unbelievable. It's like too close. It's like you're hovering over the ice almost.
Mm-hmm.
The rink still looks wild. Like they've even said that like they have to like fix the rink to be like the seats to be more conducive to having an ice rink out there.
Sure.
Like parts of the balcony, you cannot see the whole sheet of ice.
Yeah.
Excuse me. But generally speaking, the Utah's a little nasty.
Yeah, they can get a little freaky with it. Yeah.
I'm so dumb. Like I was a Coyotes fan for 10 years, more than 10 years. And I was like, I'm a Utah fan, right? And my buddy's like, it's the same roster. I was like, okay, yeah, then I'm a Utah fan. Because like I wanted a new team and I didn't know how I felt about Utah just because like the name and everything. But I kind of I'm running with it. I like it, dude. I don't know if you like watch any of that game, but ESPN must get paid $1 every time they refer to Liam O'Brien as spicy tuna. That's the only way they referred him for the entirety of the game, even during the interview. And he even looked like, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I did say that. Yeah. They're good.
I didn't.
Yeah. Clayton Keller, Doan.
Yeah. Yeah. Shane Doan.
Joshua.
Yeah. I know.
Big
year from Keith Kachuk coming up.
Is it?
Should be. Those Yotes are looking good.
I'm
just naming other Coyotes.
Speaking of Keith Kachuk, I want to talk about the NHL Faceoff series.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. I mentioned it before. It kind of made Matt Tkachuk likable for 5 minutes. A little bit.
Just about 5. Yeah.
That was it. And like not even the full 5. Like for part of a 5-minute period. There's like a clip of him chirping Marchand during the series. It was like Marchand is just like standing next to the bench and Tkachuk's like, never seen a captain give up on his team. And Pasta's like, yeah, like don't even listen to him. Like, like obviously don't listen to Matt Tkachuk ever. But the clips of Matt in the backyard with Keith Tkachuk, his dad, and Brady were really good. Like just very like, of course that's how the Tkachuks like interact with each other.
I will say I liked watching it. No part of me was like, I don't think I would enjoy hanging out with them.
No, it would be very uncomfortable.
No, I'd get bullied is what would happen.
They're bullying. Yeah, that's exactly it.
Yeah, they bully each other. So we certainly wouldn't be safe. You certainly wouldn't be safe.
I would be crying in minutes. And I've said this before. I cannot wrap my head around the fact that Brady Tkachuk is 6'4". He should be like 5'8" at most. He should be a little guy, and he's not. He's quite a large man. Also, like Keith, did you have to have children? Did you have to do that to us? Weren't you enough?
You didn't have to do that.
He didn't have to, but he did it to us.
The Swayman stuff, interesting. I guess it's weird because the shelf life of it was so short. But him talking about the big quote being like, I haven't proved shit yet, and blah, blah, blah. Had, if he was still holding out, we would be, looking for any little clue and nugget that we could pull out of there. But unfortunately, like I said, the shelf life of that was, I think, like 4 days.
Yeah. It was like a neat little inside look at him. Watching that episode was actually what made me worry for the first time that we weren't going to sign him. I don't know if I just kind of was putting it out of mind or whatever, but just dude clearly loves to play, clearly loves being a Bruin. Everything with his dad was very, very sweet. And I was like, I like this a lot. I like this guy a lot. Like I love Sway. But when that episode ended, I was like, we gotta sign this guy. That, and they kept hammering like how good he was in the playoffs. Like Tkachuk was like, he was the star of their first round with Toronto. He was the difference maker. So, but it was a really cool insight. All the stuff with Pastrnak was great too. Made me like William Nylander, I think.
Yeah, did that too.
Yeah,
if they're trying to market these stars or whatever, they're doing a good job.
And Forsberg too. Forsberg is a fantastic example of a player that like Philip Forsberg in Nashville that I know is very good, and I couldn't really tell you much more about it. I didn't even know what he sounded like. I thought he had a full on accent, but he doesn't. So I really appreciate the series for just like, I don't know, educating me more about the league that I love watching. If you are listening to this and you have not watched the NHL Face-Off series on Amazon Prime, highly recommend it. Just within the first minute, I texted you, Joe, and I said, this is already the best behind the scenes content the NHL has ever put out. Like I love Behind the B, but it's very hit or miss. Sometimes it's like, yeah, that's them walking their dog. Like,
yeah, some episodes are like, like obviously the famous ones like the Sagan trade stuff.
Sure.
Like that's fucking nuts that they caught that.
Yeah.
And then there are some episodes where it's like, now they're on the plane and now they're playing the game and now the game's over.
I'm Dennis Leary.
You ever watch that show, Rescue Me? I remember me the most from what was that fucking that would have been a good joke. Small Soldiers. I think he was in that. Am I wrong?
I remember that movie.
Small Soldiers cast. Was
Is this the part of the show where we start talking about obscure movies and actors?
Yeah, he was in Small Soldiers.
Nice,
What a pull.
Good catch. Yeah, but the behind the scenes stuff with the NHL. I also just love the format of the series because like they take every episode they take two players. They show a lot of background on them, and eventually it comes to them playing each other in the playoffs. And I think that's a really, really cool format, and I really hope they do that again in the future.
It was very cool. I will say it felt montagey at times, just like I think it's the music, to be honest with you. I think like the amount of music, I was like, there's a little like I want to chill here. And
that is like if you wanted
being ushered through it,
that, and if like you want to like show the game in like a playoff series, but you only have so much time, like you kind of have to pack a lot into a little amount of time. So it's invariably going to feel a little montagey, but I definitely know what you mean. But I think it's really important for a show like this to exist for the NHL, because the NHL is not very good at marketing its product. No. So this is like one of those shows that like I could probably recommend to people who I know who love sports but don't really watch hockey. Be like, this is a really good insight into the players, like some of the stars, and then the game itself. And it's even like them like contextualizing like, yeah, like how important hockey is in Toronto, and like what Boston is like as a hockey town, and just like the pressure on these players from not only themselves but the city and each other. And it was super cool getting the full mic'd up part of Nylander telling Matthews and the team to like quit bitching and that they just keep crying about everything. Love that. And even there's a one little audio clip from Pasternak where he's like yelling in the locker room. He's like, all we're doing is yelling at each other. All we're doing is bitching at each other. And it's like, of course, like, you know, that like they get mad at each other on the ice. Like it's well documented that they're not afraid to do that, and they understand it's just them being competitive. But it's I don't know, it's just those like little insight things that it's really cool to hear and really cool to see, and it's cool to hear them swear. That's another big thing, honestly.
Yeah. Uncensored NHL content is like something we've all asked for.
Yeah, so. It's been since what was it? What was the HBO show? It was like Road to the Show. This is the one about the Winter Classic.
Yeah, Road to the Winter Classic, I think is what it was called. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I so highly recommend it, and I desperately hope they continue doing it. I would love a version of this, not even just about the playoffs. Like if it meant we got more of it, like give me regular season content. Like
sure, I mean, well, that's what Behind the B is.
That's fair. That's fair.
We do have that. We're so lucky to have Behind the B. Like Red Sox fans right now are like so stoked about in April. There's going to be like a 10-part. I don't even know if it's 10-part. I made that up, but like a multi-part miniseries documentary that Netflix shot over last season. And I find myself getting excited about it. Then I remember I have that dropping weekly for the Bruins. I have it, and I watch it 40% of the time. We should all be glued. To Behind the B. It just, I don't know. When I see it on, I'm like, I'll watch it. I'll watch it another time. I'll find it. I never do.
It's tough in the beginning of the season because, like I said, it's like I'm not big on the off season Behind the B. Like when they're like, here's Charlie Coyle walking his dogs. It's like, oh, that's nice. But like, I want to watch Behind the B the week after there was a line brawl with Toronto. And Frederick and Trouba fought each other twice in the same game. Like, I want that shit. Like, I want the on the ice mic'd up shit. And even if it's censored, you still get so much out of it. So you're absolutely right. We're spoiled with Behind the B. It's been going on for so long.
there's probably going to be one soon. You know, with the Swayman negotiations, at least
one dropped yesterday before the game. Quit dropping shit.
Did you watch it?
I did, but it literally was, here's Charlie Coyle walking his dog. That was a very specific example I was giving. They do show like some of the Swayman stuff, but it's mosely just like him signing the paperwork. And
so it is in that episode and it wasn't anything juicy?
No, like it's not like the Sagan deal. Like it's kind of just like they didn't
like catch the phone call or anything.
They show the presser, they show like the $64 million comment. Like they don't shy away from it, but there's not like much going on in terms of like them negotiating with Swayman's camp. Like that is definitely not a part of it. But
okay.
But it's just like it was covering the preseason. It's like, all right, it's the preseason. Yeah. Like I honestly, even this first game will be good content for Behind the B because like like someone was getting mad on the ice. Like I want to hear somebody mic'd up, and no, it should be good.
I have one more thing.
Hit me
on our docket here, and it is Frank Saravalli.
Gross.
I don't care to pronounce your name correctly. He put out his like season predictions for the year, and he in it predicted the Columbus Blue Jackets to win the draft lottery. And this is the exact quote that he posted the first time he posted it. not after he edited it 4 times. Quote, with a little help from Goudreau, the Columbus Blue Jackets will win the 2025 draft lottery. It's the only consolation prize on a brutal year, but hope and help is on the way. Bananas that the Blue Jackets have never won the lottery. And then changed it to, with a little help from Goudreau in heaven.
That ought to fix it.
Fixed it. The Columbus Blue Jackets will win the 2025 draft lottery. Everybody keeps using the same word, and I'm going to use it too. Gross.
Yeah. Gross,
dude. Really gross. It took me
Icky.
11 seconds, Rob. I timed myself. It took me 11 seconds to write this. Okay. This is, first of all, stunning. This got through not only his brain, but whatever editor sifted through this dog shit sentence. But here, 11 seconds it took me to write. After the tragic loss of Johnny Gaudreau, expectations for Columbus have changed drastically. They are a strong candidate and my pick to win the 2025 NHL Draft Lottery. Though the Blue Jackets will struggle without him, it is an immeasurable loss off the ice as well.
Infinitely better. Like, it felt like he was passive aggressively blaming Gaudreau. Like,
and thanks to Johnny.
Thanks to Johnny.
I was like, you gotta be kidding me, dude.
And like obviously that's not what he meant, but like that's how you're you're the president of the Writers Association. Like, that's the best you got. And like you said, he kept changing it. I'm like, it didn't get better. You made it worse. It wasn't that you didn't acknowledge you thought he went to heaven. I wasn't like, no. Like, he went to the good place.
Whoa. I'm saying
like that's not the issue.
He was a good guy.
Such a needless inclusion, too. Like, and you could just, like, the way you put it is exactly how he should have put it. It's like, yes, like, this happened, and it is unfortunate that, like, we have to kind of talk about the effect it will have on the team.
Yeah.
Like, how well they will do. Like, that is a huge loss for the team, and they probably won't be that good this year now.
And notice this, Rob. This is just my writing here. CLNS Media.com. Pillowed on both sides. Tragic loss at the top of the paragraph, and then immeasurable loss off the ice at the end of the paragraph. So, like, it's really sad. The team's going to be worse because of it, and it's really sad. Double cushion. Wrap it up. Hey, this is tough to say. I understand, but the team's going to be a lot worse without their best player. And now on to my next thing. Did you read that whole thing, by the way?
Like the whole article?
Yeah.
No.
Did you read what he wrote about Tampa?
No. What did he write?
He wrote, with a little help from Hurricane Milton, the Tampa Bay Lightning will have a whole new fan base to ingratiate themselves to.
Are you fucking with me?
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, my guy. Like, fire him into the sun. That's good. That's good.
No, that was me. That's just a joke.
The first time I read what he wrote about Johnny, I was so sure that it was like written months ago before any of that happened. And I thought it was like people were upset because he was like digging at Johnny for being so bad that the Blue Jackets would finish last. And I was like, well, that's a dumb take anyways, because Johnny's good. And then I read that it was posted earlier that day. I was like, oh, well, what? What are you doing, Frank?
Unbelievable. Really unbelievable. And the whole, like, hey, sorry. Shut up, dude. My bad.
I didn't realize how many people dislike him, too, because that was a pretty universal. People are like, well, we don't really care what he thinks. I don't know.
I told you I was like getting mad at myself that I was even starting to like come around on him a little bit.
Yeah, you were saying that.
Like, yeah. You know, here's what he did say, though, just in case you guys want the context. Earlier today in an annual season predictions column, timeout. The annual thing, he's going to use every excuse that he can, but the first one is that. Like, don't let that be shrouded. That's an excuse. That, like, hey, I do this every year, is like it's tone deaf to be like, we're not mad that you did season predict. I don't know, whatever. Anyway, quote, earlier today in an annual season predictions column, I picked the Columbus Blue Jackets to win the draft lottery and included commentary about Johnny Gaudreau looking down on them from heaven for good luck. Fuck you. That's not what you said. What I wrote and how my poor choice of words was received was not intended to create any hurt or anger. And he goes on from there, whatever. He's gutted. And he's really sad. You should not have tied the two together. I'm sorry. I don't like apologizing, but changing what you did. Because that's what he did. Looking down on them from heaven for good luck. That's not what you said. You said, thanks to his death, they're going to suck. That's what you said. And then people told you about it, and you edited it, and it still sucked. So you had chances. You're a professional writer. You're the president of the goddamn Writers Association. You have editors, and it's still insensitive, and your apology sucks. Not accepted. Anyway, that's all I got.
The only thing
and you ruined the goddamn Seattle draft.
And that's what it was. That's why people don't like him. That's what it was.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of things, but that was the big one for me.
Yeah, no, I knew I was missing one thing. I knew it was like a thing. That was definitely it. Real quick, going to rewind it back to the game one real quick. Also missed the point where Morgan Geeky got cross-checked and there was no call because, of course, super random thing to throw in on top of it, but it really upset me and I wanted to make sure I mentioned it at least once. It was Sam Bennett because of course it was. Because why wouldn't it be? I don't
got anything else? You got a closing thought?
We play the Panthers on Monday. Woo!
Woo!
Yeah, put Sway in net probably, right? Yeah. How many starts do you think Sway is going to have this year?
I don't know, but I mean, like, it's not. Is it official that he's in the Montreal game? You said that with so much confidence.
He's going to be in that Montreal.
I don't think so.
He absolutely is.
You think he's going to be? They don't want to play him Tuesday, but they'll play him Thursday?
Yes. He wanted to play Tuesday. You know he wanted to play.
Sure, but it's not a matter of if he wants to play. He didn't have training camp.
No, he's playing.
He didn't have a preseason.
He's playing Thursday. After that game, he's playing Thursday. He's probably going to play the next 3 games.
I think that's crazy.
So do I, but he's a bulldog.
They just
that's his whole thing. That's his whole. That's part of his identity. Is that he's
it's not his decision.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it absolutely matters whether or not he plays.
Okay, it matters, but no, like they're going to give him the net. Swayman's in net Thursday. I'm very confident.
All right. Well, we shall see.
Optics alone. I mean, not that they decide anything.
I mean, they've
optics,
said that. I don't even think it's the optic. I don't think it looks bad to not play him because I think it's just like, well, hey, didn't have a training camp, he didn't have a preseason. Let's give him a little bit. You know?
That's why Corpusalo got game 1. If they didn't already like establish Corpusalo as
they
game
announced,
1 starter,
they announced that he was the game 1 starter weeks ago, which meant even if he signed that day, that they still would have given it to Corpusalo.
Yeah, and
so like they want Sway to get at least a week. I don't know,
which he's got. He'll be in that.
All right.
Also, it's Montreal.
Well, it's Montreal. Thanks for listening, everybody. We will catch you early next week. We'll talk to you after the next Panthers game. And you can follow us on social media. Just Twitter. We're only on Twitter. We're not on Instagram yet. Maybe we'll make an Instagram one day. You can follow us at bearwithme_pod. You can follow me at Joey Copponi. You can follow him at Rob Tocci. And we will talk to you guys after these 2 games. Thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks for, bearing with me. Where's Matt Patra?